Dude, Amazon's just freaking killing it this year. That's right, after years of content, Amazon Prime is finally living up to its name. I mean, starting the year off strong with Has Been Hotel, then they had Fallout, which completely crushed. I should probably give that show another try. Plus they have The Boys and Invincible. Just, yeah, 2024 is the year of Amazon Prime Video. Nice going, Jeff. So now we finally have the very first teaser trailer for The Lord of the Rings of Power Season 2. Which, yeah, I know, Season 1 is probably the most divisive adaptation of Middle-earth I've ever seen. But I personally loved it when it came out. I still think it's awesome. I'm not one of those pissy, diehard Tolkien fans who's gonna be all like, that character has blonde hair in this adaptation, whereas he has brown hair in the original source material, therefore this whole thing sucks now. That's really how it feels. No, I love me a good adaptation. So now let's dive into this teaser for Season 2, finally.
An evil, ancient and powerful, has returned.
Alright, so Season 1 left off where it was revealed that Halbrand is actually Sauron, and he arrives in Mordor. We know that this whole series is leading up to that big war that we saw at the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring movie, the last alliance of men and elves against Sauron and his army of orcs. This series is the build-up to that, so we see Sauron in Mordor now. Although I'll admit, the big selling point that this teaser's giving, which is Charlie Vickers as Sauron, his look, yeah, I admit it's gonna take me some getting used to, I'll be honest. It's funny, I showed a picture of him to my friends. I was like, gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to fuckable Sauron, because that's what I'm gonna call him, I guess. Their response was, are you telling me that Sauron wasn't fuckable before? Are you nuts? To which I said, alright, I'll give you that. In all seriousness though, this new look for Sauron, it's so humanizing. We've never seen Sauron so humanized. In Season 1 it worked because we didn't know he was Sauron until the end. But yeah, now he looks like a pretty Sauron. He's blonde now, he's got that receding hairline, and actually if you notice, you look closely, his ears are now pointed like an elf's. I was like, what, huh? Alright, so what exactly are you, Sauron, servant of Morgoth? I don't know, that's a little confusing. Again, I'm not an expert in the lore of Tolkien's world. This could be accurate, could be not. But if this teaser is any indication, I'm gonna guess that Charlie Vickers as Sauron is gonna be a huge part of this season. So we'll see how that goes. This teaser doesn't really show a whole lot. It's less than 2 minutes long. We really just get a bunch of shots, like a montage. That is a pretty cool shot right here though, where it pans around Galadriel and Elrond and a couple of other elven warriors like they're the Avengers or something. I like that shot. It's really cool. They're preparing for battle against God knows what. And some of the visual effects, just like Season 1, they look pretty damn awesome. Especially that Venom symbiote looking thing. What the hell is that? It's like the Venom symbiote took over Groot, which is a pretty awesome concept to me. We got a giant sea beast. God knows what that is. Is that somehow related to the big Kraken looking thing we saw in Fellowship of the Ring outside the Mines of Moria? Who knows? If there's one shot where I was like, those visual effects could have been cleaned up a little bit, it's the one with those tree roots or vines, whatever those are, coming to life like the ropes on Blackbeard's ship in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. That's what it reminded me of. But yeah, right there I was like, that could look a little better. There is one point where we see the 3 elven rings. We remember the finale of Season 1. The big deal is that those 3 elven rings were forged. That's like the big thing in the finale of Season 1, which I love. That was awesome. Look at those rings. They're badass. And so here it looks like they're gonna be worn by Galadriel, King Gil-galad, and Elrond probably. And actually it looks like the High King is wearing quite a few rings. Hey, gotta show your status, But then we see a shot of King Durin III, the Dwarf King, with what looks like a ring of his own. So in this season, are they gonna forge the 7 dwarf rings? Is that gonna be like the big thing in this season? I don't know. Maybe. Probably, maybe. I mean, in the Season 1 finale, it was cool how they had to build up to the decision to make 3 elvish rings. Because at first they're like, oh, maybe we're gonna make a crown. Then they were like, oh no, it has to be smaller. Oh, now we're gonna make 2. And then Galadriel's like, we have to make 3. It was a build up to that. That was cool. So now I'm curious for the 7 dwarvish rings, how are they gonna build up to that? I mean, we know dwarves are greedy, so it's probably gonna be that. Like, oh, we need more than 3. We're gonna make 7. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm excited to see that. We see more of Numenor, which I love. Numenor was my favorite arc in the entirety of Season 1. I love seeing that island kingdom of men. It was so cool. And so here we see a huge eagle landing behind Pharazôn. I was like, all right, the eagles are back. Wonder how they're gonna play into this story. About halfway through this trailer though, we get our release date for this season, which we didn't know until now. August 29th. Holy shit, that's sooner than I thought. That's in 3.5 months. Awesome. Not a long wait at all. I mean, unless you count the last 1.5 years or so. In which case, yeah. And not gonna lie, I love the end of this teaser. Cause not only do we get a brief brief glimpse at Sauron's power, but we get our first look at what I'm pretty sure is gonna be Baraddur, which we all know is the tower in Mordor that had the Eye of Sauron in the original trilogy. And I really like how it looks here, not gonna lie. It's really raw, it's probably not the complete tower yet, it's gotta be carved and shit. Wouldn't that be awesome if we got some carving scenes with that music? Bum 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 bum. I know it's not gonna have that theme, I'm just saying though. One thing worth noting is that we don't get a look at the Harfoots or the wizard with the Harfoots in this trailer at all. We don't get the wizard and Nori. I don't know why. I'd say that's a pretty big deal. We'll probably see them in the next trailer. But in the end, I am still, of course, super excited for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2. Honestly, this teaser trailer didn't blow my mind like all the trailers for Season 1 because, I mean, it's understandable, right? Season 1, it was like, oh my god, we're going back to Middle-earth and it looks amazing. Now we've had a season of that. We're going back. That's awesome. But, you know, when it comes to stuff like this, nothing ever beats the first impression. I don't know if I'm gonna like Season 2 as much as I like Season 1, but I want to see the Balrog that the dwarves have. We saw that in episode 7 of Season 1. I want to see the further adventures of Nori and the wizard, who might be Gandalf or Saruman, and also the further adventures of the Númenóreans and Galadriel and the elves and Elrond, and of course, fuckable Sauron. Can't forget about him, creating Baraddur in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie. So, the official teaser trailer for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2. Have you watched it yet? What are your thoughts on it? Are you looking forward to this season, or are you one of those fans who's just gonna be like, oh, the first season sucked, so fuck this? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Peace!